Now let's get this party started. Welcome to the ZBHO Dojo. My name is Spicer, your spicy sensei, if you will. And today on stream, we're going to be talking about collectibles. We're going to be going through your critiques. We're going to be taking you to that next level of anatomy, sculpting, knowledge, confidence, and skill right here in the dojo. So grab yourself a seat on the mat and let's get started. But before we do, let us give thanks and praise to the lords and gods of CGA, starting with Frank Frazetta. Thank you, Lord Frank Frazetta. Next, St. Joseph. Next, St. Paul of the morning. Look up here. Next, Brian King of Slian. And finally, Simon Lee Spider of the Road. Thank you for your education, your inspiration, and your overall badassness. How is all of the Dojo Warriors doing in the chat today? Hello. Zintrap. What's going on? Appreciate you being here. Black Box, thanks for being here. Tin of Slug, the Happy Extruder back again. Fieldy Panda, you must be new here. Welcome to the ZBHO Dojo. Welcome. Rashard Jacobs. Oh, snap. IR Sculpts, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. And we got new hype tracks, yo. We got new hype tracks. Okay? New hype tracks. So hopefully, man, I was just sick of the house. Man, I was done with that playlist. Done with it. So glad we got some new music in. Can my next level be with a lot of tongue? Question of the day. Can my next level be with a lot of tongue? Insane Pixel coming in with a hot take. John Quest, Sensei Spicer, we all bow to you, Sifu. D-Zinc ready to rock and roll. Z-Drop Davis. I want to see some piping hot snake hook action. Skull Hat in the dojo. I want to give thanks to all the dojo warriors that kept the dojo doors open last week with all the bundles from ArtStation. Y'all did awesome. So thank you very much. Okay. So today we're going to be going through some. We're going to be talking about collectible compositions, and we're going to talk about befores and afters. Okay, let's see. Okay, so this is one of my students. This was his first attempt at putting together a collectible. Okay, so let's talk about it for a second. Let's figure out why this is working, why it isn't working. Okay, so first off, the pose for this guy is working really well for me. Really like it. It's lots of action, lots of forward momentum, and this guy crashing into the column is full of action. Good action lines. I would have just maybe straighten a leg or something like that, but other than that, pretty good, right? Okay, so let's talk about what we can talk about why this isn't the best composition. All right, not to say that it's a bad one, but for collectibles, let's talk about it. Okay, so first we would have to print this in a very long format. Okay, so whenever you think of something, you know, like usually I have this, you know, this James Cain piece right here, and notice, you know, I can put it in my hand, right? And I can set it here down on my desk, and it doesn't take up a lot of room. And that's generally what people want, so they can either put it on their desk and have it, or so they can collect it and have a bunch side by side, right? So they don't have this long L piece and, you know, all these other ones. So that's one problem. So we would have to split this in two so that if they wanted the other side, they could have the other side, right? So, so this is a student's piece, not my piece. So, so that's the first issue, right? It's too long in format, and also in terms of context of what's going on here, I need a hulking gator man from starting with Z Spear. Hey, oh yeah. So, second thing that's wrong with this is that the issue is over, right? The conflict is over. Zelda's or Link has won, right? I know someone in here saying, "It's not Zelda, it's Link." Oh my god. Okay, so I'm gonna call him Zelda on purpose. All right, so Zelda here with the sword and shield, and Link the princess. Okay, who he's going to save Link, right? So so the conflict is already done, right? So it's not really tension. There's no tension here. There's just action. And whenever the way I explained it to my student was, the reason that we like heroes is not only because they win, but because they endure, right? They fail and they keep going, and they fail and they keep going, and then they give up and they keep going, and they fail and keep going, and then they succeed, right? And that's and whenever we're putting together a collectible, we need to think of it as a movie, right? We need to think of it as the most exciting part of the movie, and it's the most exciting moment of that part of the movie, right? So this wasn't really that. This was like after everything's done and he's giving his winning blow. Okay, so that's not the best one. Okay, so I met with him and we talked about all this and just made sure he understood what I was talking about. So he came back with a new one. Okay. Hey, what's up, ShayRX? So he came back with this, right? So this is much more dynamic. It's also going to fit a whole lot easier on your desk and in your collection. Okay. And the key difference is that we put the hero in danger. Okay. Whenever we've shown our hero, whenever they're in conflict with someone else and we've shown the resolution of it, it's not as exciting as what's going to happen next. You know, how is he going to get out of this? How is our hero going to win? Okay. So he came back with this, which I think is way, way, way cooler. Okay. The only thing I would do for this is I would bring this knee in because it's just, let me see if I can just grab all this. Yeah, okay. So I would bring this knee in because his stance is a bit too wide. It needs more of a surprise feeling, right? So so what I would do is something like this, where all the weight is on the back foot, right? You had it on the back foot, but it was just evenly spread. And whenever it feels like the weight of that fire is coming down on him, and he's, you know, he has to keep his legs like that, and then possibly here, right there. Let's mask this, bring everything back, invert the mask, and Let's bring this down the tibia to the ankle. And let's see what this... I do like it, maybe not so straight. Yeah, I think that'll work. And if you could have some type of element here, I'm just going to put a square in here for right now. Let's go here. Let's bring this down. Well, let's get a Q-cube first. We always love our Q-cubes here in the dojo. Alrighty, so something like that. And then let's go back here. Mask. Bring that back. Bring this here. And what we're doing is we're squishing them down even more. Right, so the weight feels even heavier because now we got to bend the leg more, okay, to balance all this out. So down, let's get a better view of that. Let's widen this out a bit just so we have a little bit more surface area to kind of put this on. And if we put it at an oblique angle, it's going to help us even more. Because if we have any straight lines within the composition, it's going to feel very flat and very calm, right? Which we probably don't want. Juan Carlos Franco, what's going on? The Crocatang, Greek theater rules, nice. IR sculpts, oh yeah, very cool. Attentive slug, nice setup. Juan Carlos Franco, I'm here. Hi. Hello. So, yep. So the more things we have at an angle, the better. Let's get rid of that. And let's bend this. Let's first get it down the tibia. Mask. Bring everything back. Invert the mask. And then boom, now he's even more squished, right? So now it feels like he's, about to fall over. How is he going to recover from all this? And that's the type of situation you want to put your hero in. Because if your hero is standing over, like if Batman's just standing over the Joker, that's not as interesting and exciting as, the Joker with his hands around Batman's throat as he's trying to get out of some mud or something like that. Like, that's obviously more exciting, right? But if you're going to have a conflict, more often than not, putting your hero in danger is going to create is going to create an emotional reaction that will keep people guessing and keep people looking at the artwork and trying to guess what's going to happen next, right? So here, let's grab this. And let's bring that down. Maybe not so much over there, huh? Maybe not so much. Put that right there. And right there. Oh, that was a B and L. There we go. I was making something earlier. Put that right there. Right there. Yeah, but you see now he feels suffocated. Okay, so now let's talk about the fire. We just want to make sure that it's not blocking too much of our character. Okay, so let me see if I can find the scene really quick so I can kind of Give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Just chill out for a second. Let me get this. Jeez. Okay. So, let me grab this real quick. Oh, are you serious? They're gonna let me screen grab that? Wow. They're really, really getting crazy on that. Okay, let's see. Okay, so let me go back just a little bit. Okay. All right, so this should work. This should work. Yes. Okay, so when we're talking about fire, if you've ever seen Justice League, I think this moment where Doomsday and Superman are trading laser beams, you have this smoke right here. Right here, that's kind of smashing and then curling around it, right? But Superman isn't blocked. His silhouette is not blocked the entire time. So is this completely accurate? Yeah, maybe. I'm pretty sure smoke, and all that stuff would be around there, but we are composing something, right? So we probably want to leave that. Okay, I'm not sure why this is here now, but we want to, oh, no, I don't want to, there we go. So we want to kind of compose this fire so that we can fully see our hero, right? So just make sure that this is kind of out of the way. You might have to change a lot of things about it, but that's what I would do so that we can really see our hero and envelop him in fire without taking his silhouette or our view of him away. Because whenever we set this down, this is kind of like the money shot, So we just want to make sure that looks good from this angle. Okay. So yeah. Get to the chopper. Get to the chopper. Feeling the new playlist? Oh yeah, JA21. Hello, Master Splasher. How are you? How are you? Ben Thorf. Wow, been here 5 minutes and already learned so much. This is good stuff. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Best streamer on the internet, but wears way too much. Thunderstorm art. Speaking truth. Alrighty. What's up, Ashraf? Thanks for being here. All right, so let's get into our critiques for the night. Alrighty. All right, so our first one. All right, first off, welcome to the channel. I hope you're having a great time with all this content. All of it for free, all of it for you to increase your anatomy knowledge. Right now, we're going to go over Thievolon's Anti-Venom Pose. We're going to take a look at it, see what anatomy tips we can give him, take him to that next level. If you learn anything in this video, make sure to like and subscribe right now. Right now! Alrighty. So this is Ashraf's Venom, Anti-Venom. Alrighty. So let's turn off all the materials and let's just take a look. All right, so you are, we took a look at this one, I believe, a few months ago, and the pose is way better, way more, because I think you just had it standing or something like that. Refresh my memory, Thivo. But yeah, this is looking way better. Again, all these strands are looking good. The only thing I would be worried about is the printability of all this. So just, you know, if you are going to 3D print any of this, all these things need to be way thicker because they're just way too delicate to print. Okay. Alrighty. So let's just talk about the anatomy. Okay. So lats are way better. Let's see, is there? Okay, yeah, good. Lats are way better. Muscles are getting better. Your anterior tibialis here is a little too small and a little too low. Okay, so what I would do is originate it a little bit higher and bring it over the shin. Right, so right around here. And then make sure it has forward momentum on it, meaning it's coming out that way, okay? And then going down, looking good. Calves are looking good. Way better. A little bit too low on this apex. I would bring it up here a bit more. Knee could be a little bit thinner. We don't want it to take up too much room. We want to let all this shine. So whenever we're coming off of the vastus lateralis, we want to go a straight line down to the tibia. Okay, so be careful with that. You do have the round inside, which we're always looking for. Possibly bring this in a little bit more. And this feels a little lopsided as well, like the leg's broken and then it's going this way. I think what it is your you don't have your tensor fascia latte here, and I would fill this up a little bit and bring the great trochanter a little bit higher to kind of even out this space so it doesn't feel like it's broken, right? It feels like it's broken here. Right. And then for the crotchal region, want to bring this down here. We want to, your adductors are too thin. They should go all the way back here, okay? And they should come from the front down here. Okay? So your adductors are just attached to your sitting bones here, so you don't want it to go past the glutes. And then here, these two should be quite even in their width. Okay, you have one that's way smaller. So make sure you bring this. Make sure you bring it around, and then in the halfway point is where you want to split it, going one way and then the other side going this way, right? So this side's going to go to the fibula. It's a little curvy for my taste. I would prefer it to be a little bit straighter here, and then carve in a little bit here because this is all tendon that's grabbing onto the biceps femoris here. Okay. So you'll still get that nice deep divot in there. And then I would just grab all of this and just shift it over a little bit. Right there. Okay. And then let's see, what is he stepping? Okay, so we also want to make sure that this calf is flexed because his foot is all the way out. So I'd like to see a little bit sharper, a little bit more confident shapes here. as it's being flexed. And you can go to YouTube and you can just see, you know, calf flexing, right? So flexing. All right, so here it's a first video on YouTube. So right there, right? So we want this cut, we want this level here. Let's see if I can oh, I got my Epic pen right here. Yay! All right, so boom. All right, so it's coming from it's coming from the femur, coming out, and we're gonna have a nice bisection here, and there's gonna be a nice level right here whenever we're flexing. You can see it's not here, right? It's stretched. But whenever we're flexing it, we're tightening all that, tightening all this of the Achilles tendon right here, and flexing this. And you can notice this one has a much more aggressive line than this one, and this one is a little bit higher than this one. All right, so the medial gastrocnemius head is longer than the lateral. Okay, so we want to have that type of flexion in here whenever we're doing what we need to do. Okay, so it's a little bit too round, so let's make it a little bit more angular. Right there. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, a little bit more angular. Alrighty, so the soleus that you have in here is looking good. Just make sure it's on the back end. Make sure there's nothing here really going on. And you want to start emphasizing the lower part of your ankles. And this goes for everybody. You want to emphasize the lower part of your ankle on your sculpts. Okay. Okay. Let's see. And he has holes in his neck. People don't have holes in their neck. I'm just joking. Hope you got some chubbier anatomy critiques. My dwarf looks so very basic. I got you, brother. I got you. I got you. Alrighty. And then you definitely want to work on the hand. Right. Definitely want to work on the hand. If you don't have the hands right, ain't nothing gonna work for you. Okay. So yours is tapering down. What I would do is add the styloid process of the radius. So that's gonna kick it back out on the lateral side right here. Okay. And then you're gonna bring this back in. Okay, so what I am talking about is the styloid process of the radius here. Okay, you notice it's a little bit of a bell at the end of it, right? A little bell end. Okay. So that's what we want to have here. We want to have that kind of coming out. We don't want it to be just flat, right? So right here, bring that out, bring that in, bring that in. Okay. Let's see. And then also make sure to hit your, especially on something as noisy as this, you definitely want to hit your bony landmarks very, very definitively, right? Okay. So let's see. Okay. So that is alrighty. And for the jawline, knock this in really, really well. This angle of the jaw right here. Really, really make sure it looks mean. And make sure it flares out as well. just so it looks as imposing as possible, right? As capable as possible. Right there. And let's bring this forward. We want to have an oblique angle. We don't want it going straight down. We want it going at an angle. Okay. And then right there. Yeah, you'll have a nice geometric shape to break up all this organic stuff. The face. I don't know this character that much, but I think maybe a little bit more. Maybe a little bit more snarl, so it's not just a straight line across. We can grab these. Those in there, put these in there. But I think it's, I mean, I don't know the character. I don't know if this is like really, really important that his mouth be straight across or not, but I would add a bit of a peak to it so it looks a little bit more imposing, right? So, so Shift S. Right, I just think it adds a little bit more of a lethal element whenever we can add some sharp angles as opposed to something straight across. But again, the character, I don't know. Chad, is it very important that Anti-Venom have a mouth straight across? You're on the wrong stream! Leave alone, that's it. That's it. Where's something? That's it. Okay, so it's your interpretation. Okay. Yeah, so maybe a little bit more angle. Maybe. Okay. And this, I would really push this. Right, if you got a monster, really push it. Because again, it's kind of subtle, right? And there's really nothing subtle about this character. So I would bring that in too. Right here, bring that down. I would angle this eye so it's a little bit more reptile-ish. Possibly bring it a little bit closer as well. Kind of like Predators, where they show the wolf-like one, and it had a really nice angle to the eye. This kind of reminds me of it. Let me see if I can. It's going to ruin the. Well, yeah, it's going to ruin the sculpt. So, just so you know, pre-warning. Pre-warning. Boom, bum, ba, da, ba. So, okay. So. What I would possibly do Almost there, peeps. Almost there. Okay, so man, that was a lot of masking. Okay, so we're gonna bring this there. We're gonna bring this here. So we'll turn this out so it looks like he's maybe even pivoting over to the right. Something like that. Because whenever it's in, it feels like he's gonna fall over this way. This looks like he's bracing himself as he's going over to the side. So I would possibly do that. Let's see. No, I don't like little munchkin voices in my music. All right, I don't like it. I don't want to hear it. Kimara, what's going on, sister? You were 30 minutes on the wrong stream. Why are y'all doing this? How can you be on the wrong stream? Don't be on the wrong stream. Be on the right stream. Okay. So yeah, those are some of the points I would consider with this one. Maybe being even more extreme with the leg up. Let's see if we can get away with that. No, looks like he's doing some dance or something. Okay, so yeah, that's what I would do for yours, brother. That's what I would do for yours. Yeah, imagine it was a YouTube error because it was the Pixologic channel. Oh, okay. Let's see, Diver Fiction B. Awesome work. Is there a way to mask the corners of what? Being on the right stream is a complicated subject. Stay in your lane, everybody. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I would be careful with lifting it up too much because then it's going to look like he's dancing. And instead of having both of his arms back, I would consider putting one forward because you can see on the side, like if we had his arm forward, maybe like just doing something like this, or I don't know, maybe switch the head so he's got that in front and then he's got the blade on his left hand or something like that. But yeah, I would consider bringing this arm forward because it's kind of, if we take a look at the silhouette, it's kind of mixing it up a lot, right? So let's take a look at what that would be. Here. Well, now he looks like he's really gonna fall over. Yeah, maybe that's not a good idea. Alrighty. Well, yeah. Both arms back is kind of, well, I guess this arm would have to come forward and that one would have to be back to maintain contrapposto. So yeah, I would just consider doing something like that, or just taking another look at this silhouette right here on the right side. Maybe moving this up so it's a bit more, it doesn't conflict with the character, right? So yeah, that's what I would do. Yeah. Yeah, if you're gonna throw the arms back, I would maybe raise this one if you're really set on doing that, and just, you know, give it a nice contorted feel. It does, you know, it's not just straight on like this, but it's like twisted and fingers are all mangled and all that stuff. So but yeah, keep going, brother, keep going. Just watch out that all this stuff can be printed. If you're doing this for a portfolio or doing this to show that, hey, if you hire me and you hire me to do an anti-venom, then it's going to be printable, then you want to go through this and double check it all, because I can guarantee you a lot of this stuff is not going to print, especially all these little squiggles. If anybody's going to buy this, they're going to be extremely afraid that these are all going to break. So maybe fewer but thicker squiggles, gestations. These might work, but I would consider inflating them a bit, like right around here, right? Something a little bit more printable that we can do, and all this stuff is going to be an engineering nightmare. But if you're doing it with wire, maybe it'll work, you know. But it's also going to really help your overall silhouette if these aren't so thin, right? But I don't know, are you planning on, I'm doing it for both, but mainly for practice? And yeah, you definitely want to go through here and make sure that this stuff can be printed, because if you present this to either a private commissioner or really any place that has any experience in printing, they're automatically going to tell you to go back and rethink all this. So you might as well do it. Yeah. But my tip would be fewer strands and thicker would be my advice. Okay. Alrighty, so next, Vamara Darth Maul. Alrighty, so let's talk about this one. All right, if this is your first time on the channel and you learned anything about collectibles or anatomy in any of the videos on this channel, then you need to like and subscribe right now. Like and subscribe. Okay, it's right there. Just go ahead and do it. Okay. We're going to be talking about facial anatomy on this one. This one's from Vamara. And we're going to give you some facial anatomy tips. Okay. So get ready. Get ready. Here we go. Alrighty. So first thing that sticks out to me is that if he was to take a breath, it would hit here and not go anywhere, right? You'd have to really, 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 really take a deep breath to get that going, okay? So we need to move this forward, okay? So when we do that, the neck seems too thick because it is. So we need to move that forward as well. Straight across from the nose is generally going to be where the end of the skull is, okay? Your skull is wide too far in the back. It needs to be wide. Safest place you can do it over and over again is right above the ears, okay? So if your ears are in the back third, that's not generally where they need to be, okay? So the next problem with this is that how square it is, okay? We don't want to mix the mastoid process, which is right here, with the back of the skull, because those one leads into the other, but they're both not the same. Okay, so I want to end it and round it off in the back. Okay. Zygomatic is looking good. It's where it needs to be. And now that we pulled this out, it's a little bit too sharp. So what we need to do is also bring this sternocleido forward, right? Because yours was originally going down and then forward. We need to just come forward with it. Okay. We need a pit of a neck here. And then we're gonna bring this over and we're gonna eat away on the back of this so we can maintain a tubular bro-like form here, okay? We're going to pad the back of this with the parotid gland, okay? And let's see. Okay, so we have this coming towards the head of the sternum, right? It's called the sternocleidomastoid, not clavicular sternomastoid, okay? Sternocleidomastoid, not clavicular cleidomastoid. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. That's what I meant to say, okay? So halfway down the sternocleido, we're just going to connect this right here, okay? Depending on how stressed the individual is, we'll see more or less of this. Okay, generally, it's just going to go from one into the other. Sternocleidomastoid. Sterno, S-T-R-N-O, Cleido, C-L-I-E-I-D-O, mastoid, M-A-S-T-O-I-D. Sternocleidomastoid. Alrighty, so we've got that. Let's fill this in. We want to hint at our thyroid and was it cricoid? I think it is cartilage here. Alrighty. Okay. So next, you want to be careful that your nostrils and your septal cartilage don't line up. Because your septal cartilage is always going to be in front, okay? All right, your nose, you need to put in your alar cartilage here. So the back of the nostril is going to come from there. It's going to come together, and then it's going to go back up into the nose, okay? So we can smooth that septal cartilage out. We're going to get the standard brush. We're going to dig in and redynamesh. Okay. So next thing we need to do is do the outside. So it's going to come this way, and we're going to give it a little bit of a shelf here. Okay. So it's going to come around. It's not going to go around, right? It's going to come to the shelf, go around, and back up into the nose. Okay. Smooth, smooth, smooth. Smooth out that septal cartilage. And then now you can come in here and pretty much make it any alar cartilage that you want. Okay. So if it's too aggressive for you, you can smooth it out. And you need a little bit more here. Okay. Keep this on the back foot. Smooth that out. Okay. Cargo cold is the ear hole right in the center on the side of the head, side of the hair square, or more back. It varies, but you can be safe most of the time by putting the ear in the center of the head. Like this one possibly can go a little bit further back, right there. Okay. And possibly your head's a little bit too tall. Okay. So, next, Let's see. Okay. So first thing, let's talk about the glabella here. Let's bring this up a little bit. Let's give it a little bit more room so we have the glabella here. We can furrow the brow, but let's be very careful about bringing it too close together. Okay, we want to have some space for the glabella. You want the nasal bone right there. You want the maxilla right here. So this should go down into the maxilla. So you need a little bit flatter here, right? There should be a good amount of distance between the nasal aperture and your maxilla here. All right, you want to bring your orbit back in, and let's see, we want to widen it right at the nasal aperture and then bring it back together. Okay, we want to dive down here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. Alrighty. Bring that together. It's looking good. Possibly a little bit too much. Okay. Alrighty. So that's what I would do with the face, the body. I'm gonna bring these pecs together a little bit more. And down, something like that. And generally you want these to go back up, right? Because a rib cage does this. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So the back, your trap is way too sharp here. So whenever we're sculpting the traps, first we got to get the shoulder correct. So yours is a little bit too far forward. I'd like to see it come back a little bit more. Right here, have the head right there, okay? So the placement of the anterior deltoid, or the front delt, for all you laymen's, okay, should be right there. And what you want to do from now on is you want to get your traps from the base of your skull here. You want to bring it, and you want to bring it in line with your deltoid, right? So you want it to kind of flow into it. But we don't want to actually sculpt over the clavicle, okay? So you're just, that's the trajectory of it. So it's going here and then it's stopping at the clavicle, okay? So you need your chromium process, you need your spine of the scapula, and so now you know that it's going to connect all along your clavicle, all along your chromium process, all along the spine of the scapula, okay? So that's where you need to start connecting your traps from now on, okay? So your clavicle is just going straight back. What you want to do is you want to go to the neck right about there, come straight out, and then you want to curve that back and then get in there, okay? Reason being is that the clavicle needs to be straight out around the neck so that we don't pass out, okay? Because if it was straight back like you had it, it would cut off all the veins in our throat and we would die. Okay, is that what you want us to do? Huh? You want us to die from lack of blood circulation? Vamara? Huh? Alright. So, so we have the spine of the scapula, blade of the scapula. I want to see that more straight next time. And remember, whenever we're doing the whenever we're sculpting the scapula in the back, we want to start off with it flat. Okay, if it's Mr. Olympia that you're sculpting, then you'll add some infraspinatus and supraspinatus in here, but most of us don't have that type of muscle definition. Okay, and Darth Maul is not it's not like a bodybuilder, right? And also yours are going obliquely away from the body. They need to be pretty much straight up and down. Okay, so they need to be pretty much flat, but not totally flat. And so now that we have this, now we can sculpt our rear deltoid over that. Okay, and then we're going to have that aponeurosis right here. Okay, so you can always tell where the corner of the scapula is because you're going to see this little hook right here. Okay, your traps right here. In some comics, Maul is insanely jacked. All right. So I don't agree with that, and I don't like it, so I'm not going to do it. All right, so at the end of the scapula, we want to get the serratus muscles, okay? So those are going to be right there. We also want this to follow the rib cage, right? So I see a lot of people putting a very hard edge on this and then going back, okay? We want this to follow the rib cage. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, let's get into Star Wars Maul jacked or not argument in the chat. Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Argue, 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 argue. Nerds. Okay, so we've got that, and we want this. Generally, your spine is skin and bone, so we want to be very careful that the traps don't overtake that. And you can see how the traps are basically the highest point of the back here, and we definitely don't want that. All right, who's on Team Jacked and who's on Team Toned? Team Darth Jacked or Team Darth Toned? All right, so we've got the Spear of Aponeurosis here. Okay, we've got the columns right there. This one's going to go pretty much to this head. At least this is the way that I like to sculpt it. Darth Tones. Boom, it's na-na. What's going on? Alright. Okay, so we have the traps going down to the last thoracic vertebra. But by the time it's here, it's a very, very small tendon, so we don't want to add too much meat, okay? Most of the meat is going to be up here, if anywhere. And then it's going to get smaller and smaller just due to it coming together and becoming a tendon, okay? So next is our upper lumbars, which are a little bit too high on yours. At least it's going in the right direction. It's just the volume is too much too soon. So we want to come from the base of the skull, come down right here, and we want to go to the last floating ribs, okay? Two good things about knowing where the last floating ribs are. One, you can get your upper lumbar right here, and also you can get the curvature of your obliques from there as well, okay? So you know it's going to come from here, and you want to make sure that they go back up, okay? And then that's going to expose the anterior superior iliac spine. Yeah, coming in hot. Coming in, coming in, coming in hot. Coming in hot. Okay. And then you have the spina erectus muscles here. Okay. Then you have the lat coming over and inserting right here. Coming in hot. Alrighty. So, yep, that's what I would do for this. And there's plenty of other things, you know, that we could do. We can work on the arms and all that stuff, but yeah. So, let's see, what's next? What's next? Odo, Killer Croc, I think. Killer Croce. Killer Croce. Nice. Looking good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Mm. Yeah. 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 Mm. Yeah. Looking good. Looking good. Looking good. Didn't you submit this before? Did you submit this before, Odo? Let's see. Let's go through the chat while we're waiting. Insane Pixel, breathing is overrated. Nice. Sergio Santel, what's going on? Appreciate you being here. Marco Keo, boom. Cargo Colt 055, hello. Is the ear hole right? Oh yeah, I already answered that. Stuart Tustin 91, ZBrush or Blender, which is better? Yes. Nico 3D Art, they have their own strings. Let's not start this useless debate. So I'm just gonna skip all that. I did Sumerian King. I did a sculptive guy standing straight, upright, arms at sides. Found it much harder than sculpting in pose. No idea why. Just couldn't get it looking good. Yeah, it takes a while for me too, Sumerian. Just keep working at it because you need that. You need to be able to sculpt a character that looks interesting in a pose, just in case you get some game work, right? Or film work. The Marco Keo, this model is very good. I like the general shape. Let's see. Team Darth Tone is winning. Darth Maul. Did you like Suicide Squad 2? Yeah, it was great. Alrighty. So, yeah, this is looking good, looking good. I possibly, let's see. Yeah, you got it. Okay. So, boom. Okay. So, possibly, maybe, just maybe. We'll only know if we try. All right. So there, let's bring this. Let's see if we can go back. Let's go this way. And okay. really a lot of great things going on here. I'm just kind of tailoring it to my taste. So wouldn't consider many of these things a mistake or anything. Yeah, so a little bit more lumbering, a little bit more weight on the upper back as opposed to having it going straight up, maybe a little bit more of a curve. I realize that just kind of over exaggerating this arm. But yeah, other than that, I mean, this is just simple stuff, right? Simple stuff. Just kind of like it because the arm is out here in the silhouette, and here it's kind of blocked when we look at it on the orthographics. Right. And then here we can kind of see it a little bit more. Right, it's creating these silhouettes. So yeah, you know, food for thought. But let's just go over the anatomy a little bit. Okay, so your bicep is going in towards your flexors. We want to make sure that those are going a little bit more in this direction. Okay, so here's looking good. That's a, oh, I'm using infinite, that's the reason. Okay, sorry. There's a winner. Okay, BMB, there we go. Okay, so we're gonna bring this in. Make sure this is going up the humerus, not slanted. Yours is a little bit more diagonal, and it should be going into the coracoid process up here. Boom, right there. Bring this in. This tricep, just a little bit more angular, but make sure that this is always the short head. Okay. We don't ever want to have this be the same length as the long head. Okay. So boom, boom, boom. Okay. So looking good. Silhouettes are looking good. I'm wondering. Okay, so I see what you're doing. This way, that way. Okay. Okay, yeah, and this curve right here, I don't know if this was me or not. Could have been from the infinite depth brush, but just make sure it's not curving. Boom, 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 boom. And you can really inflate these two together right here. It's okay for these to be kind of feeding on each other. Bicep looks way better here. Let's see. Good. Possibly a little bit more over here to balance out with this side. Even though it's being stretched, I think we can add a little bit more form here. Let's see if we can find a landmark here. So Let's grab this, bring this around. Just give it a little bit of a stronger indentation here on the clavicles. Okay, done. Yeah. So that's what I would do. The base. Let me see. Is there any color on this? Okay. Base seems like an afterthought. I don't know if I imagine him more in the sewers. So I would change this to a sewer, like he's walking late at night in the sewers or something like that, as opposed to mud and rocks. And it's really not adding anything here. Like you could have a whole lot of silhouettes in here. DMV, back face masking. But yeah, you could have a whole lot of things going on here. That would be able to let's see, that would add to the feeling of momentum in here. I don't know, I have no idea what this thing is, but some type of framing element that everybody can kind of see. Let's see. And just making sure that it's always, you know, at oblique angles, stuff like that. Let's use a different brush. DMV. Face masking. So give it, you know, don't be afraid to give it a little bit more height. Right? Something like that. Yeah, I'm just tossing things around here, but I think it would add a whole lot more to this, you know, kind of compositionally balance this out. So that's what I would say is the biggest thing to kind of get over on this one, is just the base is not helping it in any way. So think about something a little bit more interesting here for people, right? Just, you can see it's creating some, giving some angles, something as opposed to just flat, right? So right here, well, let's fix this. Let's go right there. Roughly right there. Okay, so something like this, and then if we go all the way back, right? Okay. So yeah, just think about what's going on here with the base and everything, because it would really suck for you to have such a cool looking character and such a really shitty base. Okay, so get some more elements in here, and if you want a job, this base ain't gonna cut it. This base, and no one's gonna hire you for collectibles just to do characters and not bases. And if you outsource the base because you can't do it, that's less money that you're gonna get. And if you want a really good base to go along with your really good sculpt, you're gonna probably have to give up a lot of your money, right? So just be just give the base the same amount of respect that you did with this character, because you did a great job. Really great job. Face looks great. Okay. Alrighty. So good job. Good job. All right, later. Appreciate you, brother. Alrighty. So let's go to Ben S. This is Head Detective. Okay. So if this is your first time being here in the dojo, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe to the channel. We're gonna go over some head anatomy for Ben here on his detective. We're gonna teach you some things that you can count on always when you are sculpting any head. If you're interested in learning more about sculptural anatomy, I do have an ArtStation store that gives you plenty of this information. Okay. So I would suggest you get the spicy bundle. Okay. This is going to keep going up in price, right? This will never be discounted because I'm going to continuously add videos to this over the next 10 weeks. So the next one's going to be eyes, and then after that it's going to be forearms. But if you get the spicy bundle, you get all the videos, all of them 5 stars, over 32 reviews of 5-star material, all of it in the spicy bundle. Okay. And whenever I create a new tutorial, I raise the price. So this is going up. So make sure to check it out at ArtStation. I am going to be giving mentorships in the next 6 weeks. It's going to be pretty damn affordable. Okay. So if you have this here, then you can, all you have to do is pay for the mentorship, right? But if you've never taken my course before, you have to get the spicy bundle before you can take the mentorship, because all the lessons I'm going to teach are going to be in there. Okay. So we're going to go through the face, we're going to go through the body. It's all going to be added here as individual tutorials at 12, or you can save money with the spicy bundle. Okay. But yep, check it out. Okay. So here we go. Let's talk about the face. So I'm going to get these eyes and I'm going to separate them. Okay. And first thing we want to do is we want to set our orbit. Okay, so your orbit looks like that. Okay, and what we want to do is we want to have it square on its side. Okay, so boom, boom, boom. Roughly, maybe not that angular, maybe not that oblique. Okay, so that's what we want to do first. We want to set up our orbit so we know where the eye is. Okay. We're sculpting in the tarsal plates and the canthal tendon. And let's get into the superciliary arches here. We want to have the nasal bone, and then we want to have the maxilla laying right here, right? So again, we want plenty of space before we get to the nose whenever we're coming from the face, the maxilla, okay? Right there. Want to get this. So your forehead is just rolling in. Okay. What we need to do is we need to really make sure that that there's a brow here. Especially for men, they're going to have a more pronounced brow than females generally. Okay. So right here, right there, going up and around. And then we're going to end the malar right where the nose is, and we're going to make sure we have an oblique angle to the front of our face right here, the malar. We're going to make sure we have a nice oblique angle to it. Okay, it should be going back this way. So now we're going to get our infraorbital furrow. We're going to carry this around. We're going to go up and over and around. Okay, this superior margin of the orbit does not meet the infraorbital furrow. These are separated, and in between is going to be your canthal tendon right there. Okay, you are wrapping it around the eye correctly, but it's more of an almond eye, and I would like to see a little bit more of first, a whole lot more thickness on the eyelid. This is a very, very thin eyelid, so we want to add a bit more thickness, and that way we can get a nice shadow underneath it. Bring this up, bring this down, bring this all around. Orbicularis oculi. Yeah. All right. And then we want to get the superior tarsal plate. Okay. Whenever we're talking about measurements, the upper tarsal plate is 3:1. Okay. So we need to have this much taller. Obviously, if we're going to have skin coming over it, that's a different story. But in its measurement, we want to have 3:1. Okay. Right here, we want to have a difference in the thickness of the tarsal plate from the superior to the inferior. So we're going to have a little bit of a fold here. Very rarely do these meet together. 9 times out of 10, the superior tarsal plate goes over the bottom one. Okay. There we go. Okay. So he's already looking better just with the eyes. Okay. So now let's finish the nose. So what you need to do is you need to dig around the nostril. Yours are really, really shallow, so don't be afraid whenever you're first starting out to be a little bit more aggressive than you think you need to be for your sculptures, because you'll spend years sculpting very gently when you can really go in there. Even if I'm sketching like this, you still know what I'm doing. So don't be afraid to do that. Okay. So where this is coming out for the nasal aperture, we want to start bringing it back together for the septal cartilage, which is going to disappear into this alar cartilage. Okay. So kind of like that. Okay. And then we want to dive down here. Okay. Boom, 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 boom. Okay. That's kind of sloppy. Let's get that a little bit better. Okay. Then we're going to have the nasolabial fold. It's going to come down. It's going to kiss the corner of our nostril, and then it's going to go around the node of our mouth here. Okay. And we're going to come back. We're going to get the outside of the nasolabial, and there's thousands of different nasolabial folds. Okay, so they all, are in generally the same place, but some are more pronounced than others. Okay, so alrighty. So again, probably want to push this back so I have enough space for my nose. Alrighty, so now we can bring this curve around. We can get the nasolabial fold in here. You can get the nasalis in here as well. Boom, 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 right there. The was it superior nasal levator aliquot something right here, grabbing onto your nostrils, so you can do that, and then they're also grabbing onto your lip right here, so you can do that. So you can do the Elvis. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And so we can go in here and we can start adjusting things to our liking. Okay. I would say the nasal aperture is a little low, so I'm going to bring it back up here. And I'm going to get that glabella nice and high, so it's in the top 25 of the orbit for males. Okay, generally, not everybody, but generally. something like that. And then we're gonna get, so your jawline is going back, and then it's doing that. And then it's just kind of soft right there, okay? So what we wanna do is we wanna mark it in a little bit more. We want to grab this ear and bring it back so it's a little bit more oblique, okay? So your ear, what is this called? Oh, I can't believe I forgot it. Earlobe, yeah, right here, is going to lead the ear 9 times out of 10, okay? Your jawline is always going to be in front of your earlobe, okay? So we need to mark that in. So you have the length of a jaw, angle of the jaw, and then the mandible right there, okay? And so now what we need to do is we need to connect our masseter right here. No, this earlobe down here, not the tragus right here. But thank you very much, John. Appreciate you. So we're going to get the masseter, and it's going to come down. It's going to come down kind of like a rectangle right here with an egg at the bottom, right? So most of the meat's going to be down here, and then it's going to dissipate as we go up, okay? And then we don't want to dig this in, okay? We want to be very careful because there's a parotid gland back here that creates spit for us, okay? Alrighty. Your philtrum right here could be a little bit deeper. Oi. Okay. And you need 3 pads for your upper lip. So on each side of the philtrum, right here, you want to come down together. That's going to be your first pad. Your second pad is going to be here, or second and third pad. And then your bottom lip, you're just going to split down the middle, and you're going to roll this over. Okay? The problem with your lips is that they're both originating from the same corner, right? So what you need to do is mark that in and make sure that the upper lip is a little bit shorter than the top lip. Is it for everybody? No, not all, but most. Okay? And then you can mark in this node of the mouth here. Okay, so it still feels like his lips are open. So if you grab the M-plate brush, you can tap it a few times and close those lips. Okay? But be careful because it is going to duck lip a bit. So be careful unless that's what you want. And nostrils, septal, right there. Okay. So next, straight across from the nose is the end of the skull. So yours is kind of just swooping in. We need to be a little bit more aggressive about it, okay? We need to bring these down a bit more. Bring that out. Right about there. And then you can have whatever size head you want. I would widen this zygomatic a bit more. Right there. Okay. Right there. And so now what we want to do is we want to get our mastoid process, and we want to bring this forward, right? So boom, right here. And your neck is just too sharp, right? So whenever we're setting up the neck and the throat, we want to keep this very, very cylindrical. Okay. Very, very cylindrical. Something like that, okay? And then we want to sculpt the sternocleido over it, and we want to have that pit of the neck here, okay? And our esophagus, we want to make sure it's a little bit wider, that doesn't have such a sharp peak in the center. Spread it out a little bit more. Submental fat. Bring this back. Okay, thyroid, cricoid, cartilage, I think, or it's hyoid. I think it's thyroid and cricoid right here. Okay. Getting that, and then your chin. I think what would help it is if you just dug in underneath the bottom lip here, and that'll give you a little bit more chance for this chin to come out. Right? And then you can have your depressor muscles here. Right there, right there. Chin raiser. Smooth it all out. All that good stuff. Okay. Then you can put in your frontal bone. Right here, or your forehead. And you want to do rays of sunshine. Do. Right there, okay? And then you want to have your temporalis. So we're just going to sketch it in real quick. A little bit there. There we go, okay? So what we have and what you gave us. So it's like that, son. Yeah. Yeah. Taking your face, rearranging. Alrighty. This will be different from the XMD course. Boom, it's na-na. Robert Clapp, this is a nice price for the spice peeps. Thank you very much, Robert. Lizard Lover, ZBHO Dojo represent. Appreciate you. Spicer, do you teach how to create bases in your course? Not specifically, because it's very specific to each one, right? Generally, if you have hard surface modeling knowledge, you'll be able to get the base done. And then anything organic, that's a statue, you just add noise to it. And then now it's a statue. So, yeah, I would just practice your hard surfacing modeling skills. Thivalon, damn, it's already 3:30 a.m. See you guys on the next one or in the dojo. Appreciate you, Thivo. Thanks for being here. Guargon, it's 10 p.m. here in Brazil. Hoi, why you're filtering so deep, Poppy? Thunderstorm art. Zototos, hi, I'm Oyo. I missed my part. Now you can go back. The Never Was. Spicer is an anatomy robot. Thunderstorm art, amazing. NBI for an eye. Or let's see, NBI for an eye 488833. Want to become oh, son of a bitch. J Murph me. J Murph my. I thought you was about to freestyle there. I was too, but I couldn't think of anything else to say after that. Face, I'm rearranging. I ain't playing. I don't know. I can't. I don't know. I'm not flowing today. Hi, I'm Otto late and I missed my part. Dang it, Sototos. Don't be doing that. Taking your face, rearranging. It's so amazing. Taking your nose, putting it, giving you that flow. Out your hole. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So, thank you very much for allowing me to critique your work. And then Box coming in hot for the dojo. Coming in hot. Alrighty. So, okay, so I'm not complaining. There's nothing. I'm not complaining about anything. But what I would do is I would shrink this down a whole lot more. So what I mean by that is insert a cylinder. I would have something a little bit more like this. And I would have something like that. So now it's a whole lot more focus on this, right? So if we take a look at it, right, you see all this stuff that's going on. I know you have some bodies in here and all that stuff. That's fine. But I can barely see this character. Say I set him down here on my desk. Let's turn this back on. I set him down on my desk and I can't see his face. Okay, so I'm gonna turn it. I can see half of his face. And then here, yeah, I can see his face, but it's not the most exciting part. And then here I can't really see anything. So, yeah, I would make the snake a whole lot less thicker. And I understand, and I would probably increase the head more than I would the body of the snake. So this, we could, have this back here. Right there, and give it some space in here. Because yeah, this is yeah, this whole snake thing's a bit too thick. But I do appreciate you putting everything together. Okay. Crafting canvas! What's going on? Julio Cesar Figueiredo Lopez. Do you have an Instagram? Yes, I do. Alrighty, let's take a look. Insta. Yeah. Going to my Instagram. Listen up, fam. You're gonna follow. Don't wallow. I'm here to help. Give you that anatomy knowledge. You ain't got to go to college. I'll grade your ass right now. Take your ass to the ground. Say, what's this? This ain't supposed to be round. All right, Daniel Matianos. Alrighty, so I like the expression on his face. It's good, but it's still suffering from the issue as the last person, right? So what we need to do is always make sure we have the orbit first. Okay, right there. So, oh my God, did you really do this? Did you really put the eyes with everything else? Oh my God. Oh my God. All right. So we are going to do that. We're going to bring this temple over. Okay, so we want to close this eye, right? We want to make sure that it's coming back around. You want to start sculpting in the tarsal plate. Let's go resolution. Okay, so you want to start sculpting in your tarsal plate. Let's grab this. Let's turn that off. Okay. And your eyes might be a bit too big as well. Let's see. No, they're all right. Okay. So, let's go here. So yours is going up on your nose right here. And what I want you to start doing is I want you to start having it come from here. Okay. So I want you to start observing the infraorbital furrow on people from now on. Okay. And you want to bring this back in towards the canthal tendon. Right here, you want to have your tarsal plate for the superior as well. I'm just using the dam standard. And boom. Okay. So, using the dam standard, kicking that in. And as soon as you can get like the basics of the eye locked in, the rest of the face is just elevated because of it. I guess you could say that about every part of the body, but you really see it in the eyes. Okay. So there, you want to bring that down. You can have the node of the mouth, that's fine. You want to have an oblique angle to the front of the malar right here. And this should go down to the bottom of the nose, right? So this zygomatic is going to end at the bottom here, and you're going to have this nice flat plane here. Especially for this character, you're really going to see it, okay? So right there, boom, boom, boom. Okay. Right there. So now what we need to do is connect the masseter. Okay, so boom, 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 boom. Right there. Want to get that angle of the jaw, mandible, right? You can hint at the ear here. Just kind of mark it in. You want to have your temple, temporalis, and so your this area is just a little bit too meaty. I'd like to see you carve this around so that way you can get that lift that you're going for. And bring this forward and a little bit less rectangle, a little bit more square. And so going to mask the tarsal plates right here and start moving this around so I have a little bit more space here for all of our eye anatomy. Okay. So we're gonna get our tarsal plate here. Using Alt on the damn standard, using Alt on the damn standard. Getting this, making sure this is a 3-to-1 ratio, right? So your upper eyelid should be 3 times the size of your bottom eyelid. Right there. Depending on how old this person is, you'll see fat coming out of the orbit. You'll have suit fat here, the nasolabial fold, or the nostril. You can totally have your lips pierced like this, not a problem. Someone who does this really well is Eric Sosa. If you don't know who that is, shame on you. He does the pursed lips really well, pretty much every time. So if you want that example, it's pretty much on most of his sculpts. Right. That one, let's see. But yeah, his Supermans are really good. That type of shape is, I guess, what you're looking for, right? So definitely go check him out. So here, gonna kind of do the same thing right here. And what he's doing is he's activating the depressor muscles, right? Because all this stuff has to be activated for us to get that expression, okay? So it's going around, and we need to attach this to the mandible, okay? So it's not just going off anywhere. So we've got the node of the mouth here, and then we're gonna have the depressor muscle for that as well. So that's gonna go down here. It may give you some skin wrinkling and stuff like that, but you just need to know what's going on there, okay? Your nostrils, they're all lined up with the septal cartilage. So that's the reason it's looking kind of weird, right? Septal, the nostril. Bring this back a little bit. Bring this forward a little bit. Bring that together. Okay, bring that together. Smooth that out. Okay, so we're getting there. Okay. Next, let's go to your sternocleido. So it's really, really thick. Oi. And we want to attach it right behind the ear, right? So we want to bring this right there. And whenever we have our neck turned this way, it's pretty much going to be a straight line. So it's not going to come around and then to the front, okay? It's pretty much just going to be a straight line down, going straight to your sternum, okay? So the problem with this is that it's coming out, going in, and what we want is a little bit more consistency. Told you I don't like chipmunk music. Spicer, did you ever 3D print Earthworm Jim? Not only would it be cool, but it would be a great promotional piece for your courses. Oh yeah. Yeah, I need to do that. Alrighty. Yeah, because everybody was posting their 3D prints in the dojo. I was like, damn it. I'm busting my zipper over here. Alright. So, I know attaching this muscle is kind of weird and all that, but it's still doing the same thing, right? It's still attaching, going into the same place. So you just want to make sure that you have a nice cylindrical shape to everything going on here. You want to have your parotid gland. You want to make sure that your sternocleido isn't too thick or wide. Whee! Bring this forward, okay? Your traps are beginning way too high. So what I would do is I would cut them off a little bit. So here we want to bring this forward. And I think your clavicle may be a bit short, but I would bring all this in, bring it down, just so we can get a little bit more neck out of it. Okay, and then we can smooth the transition here. We'll have one column, second column, spear of aponeuroses. And as long as you go through the checkpoints of anatomy, you won't ever go wrong. Okay. Deltoid goes up. Your tricep is going to go into there. Teres major is going to go into there. Right. You want to have a flat plane for your scapula first. get the deltoid over that. Aponeurosis. Make sure this is following the rib cage. Make sure this is coming forward, not just straight back, and then it goes back. Following the rib cage. Okay. Right here. Getting the serratus muscle going down. Your pectoralis is going into your bicep. It needs to go. Where does it go, people? Where does it go, Dojo? Where does a pectoralis go over? It goes over the bicep. It goes over the bicep. Okay. So what we need to do first is we need to have a straight clavicle. All right. So after the neck is where we bring this back. Bring that towards the center. So chromium process is right here, curve, and then straight line, right? Trapezius goes into, or it doesn't go into, but the anterior deltoid and the trapezius, their trajectories are pretty much the same, right? So we don't want to get into a habit of sculpting over the clavicle, but just get your trapezius in line, okay? And stay in your lane. Okay, so we're gonna have a lateral head right here. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, let me connect this pec. Okay, so we're gonna go over the bicep, and your arm is not long enough, okay? Or your bicep is too pronounced. But I would say that this arm is really short, but maybe he's just extremely buff. So if that's the case, then we want to bring all this over, and we want to separate the deltoid, the front deltoid, from the lateral deltoid, okay, and from our pectoralis. So our pectoralis, we have 3 heads, and they're all going to converge right here. So we want to be careful. We're putting that. So we have the clavicular head attaching in there. We've got the sternal head going in there, and then we have the thoracic going all up in there, okay? And so whenever we have our arm out, we're going to stretch our pectoralis, okay? So it's not going to have as much mass as one where his arm is just down like that, okay? So we're gonna bring this over, bring that over, and okay. If you're looking for that manubrium striation, it's right about there, about halfway down. You can bring that right there. So, yeah, those are kind of things that I would do to your sculpt. And just kind of evening these things out, right? So let's do this other pectoralis so you can have no excuse. So we have an arm raised and an arm down. So we're gonna have the lateral head and the anterior head go over the pectoralis. And then the clavicular head, the sternal head right here, and then the thoracic head, okay? They're all going to lay out kind of like that, okay? We want to make sure that we bring this back up, all right? Okay. And then your rib cage, I'd like to see a little bit more of a curve, and then the obliques here. Right there. And then you can have your serratus right here. So that'll be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Kind of right there. Just make sure that these go back up into the neck, right? So they go out and then they come back in. So be careful for that. And I would bring out this lat a bit more. Something like that. And there's a arm wrestler who this guy reminds me of. What's his name? Dennis Jablitnioff. Dennis Jablitnioff. Okay. So that's this guy. And that's who your guy kind of reminds me of. Kind of like the same build, you know, short and stocky and extremely thick. So is Dennis Jablitnioff. Dennis Jablitnioff. Right, so yeah, I would use this guy as reference because he's looking a whole lot like your guy. Let's see. Frederick Lynn! What's going on, brother? Appreciate you being here. There's no laughing out loud for you, crafting canvas. Oh, did that crash? Did we crash? No, we didn't crash. Okay, cool. Dennis Quaid. ZBrush artists are wizards. OMG. Are you using a tablet or a mouse for sculpting? A tablet all the way. This thing has been smoothed out, Mudman for a while. Snagged the spicy bundle and looking forward to going over the whole character again. Oh, hell yeah. I appreciate you picking up that spicy bundle. Tony Finn, how do I participate in the critique? Excellent question. Okay. So, I have a Discord. It's called the ZBHO Dojo, of course. It's totally free. You can come in here and you can join. Fraser in the house. And you just put in the critique submission slot right there, and I will get to it when I get to it. Okay. But yeah, it's always in line. So yeah, these are things I would do for your character, brother. That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Okay. So if you are interested in learning more about anatomy, then definitely go check out the my art station right here. Right here. You can buy all this information in pieces or all together. I would suggest that you get the spicy bundle because it is the collection of everything at a discount. And whenever you buy this, and I'm going to be adding a whole bunch more tutorials, you get it for free. Right? So but every tutorial that I create, I add to this bundle and I raise it by $10. So if you bought it whenever it was like 15 bucks, you just got an entire course. Well, you're going to be getting an entire course pretty much for free. So, but everyone else, make sure you get in because we are not discounting the bundle. Since it goes up in price, it doesn't go down. We're always recording new material for it. So it's very pricey. And, you know, how much would you pay to shave off a year of sculpting frustration. You know, like how much value is that to you? I know for me, if I could jump in skill and all that for $70, that's a damn good deal. So yeah, if you want to get better, if you want to become a better sculptor and you want to do it quickly, check out the ArtStation store and pick yourself up that spicy bundle. It is, we're coming out with a new tutorial next week. It's going to be ready for ZBrush Live, and it's going to be about the eyes, all about the eyes. So, and then after that, it's going to be all about the forearm. So we're going to demystify all that stuff for you, so you never have a problem sculpting that stuff again. Okay. So yeah, just gonna fiddle here a little bit, but does anybody have any questions about anything I just went over concerning anatomy or the store or whatever? Anybody have any questions? Appreciate all the follows. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay. So if you haven't yet, make sure to go check out my YouTube. I am streaming exclusively to YouTube now on my own channel. Every Friday we have we're sculpting and drawing characters for comic books, for our own comics. And I also, all the critiques I do here on ZBrush Live, I also put over there on my channel in separate videos. So yeah, if you were critiqued on this show, definitely subscribe to the YouTube so you can watch your video, you know, parsed out from everybody else, okay? Just in case, what's the difference between the on-demand course and the ArtStation course? We're re-recording all the material. It's going to have I'm teaching it in a slightly different way, and I'm also adding all the sculpting to it as well. So in the on-demand course, some have sculpting, some don't. This new set of tutorials will have all the sculpting in there. So definitely, it is different. It is going to be different. And then the Frazetta piece that I'm working on, where is that? Where's that Frazetta piece? I guess I don't have it up. Let me show you. Right, so this piece is going to be in the spicy bundle as well, the ArtStation one. So the entire process for this will be in there, and yeah, when it's done, it'll include cutting, keying, and if y'all are interested, I can show you how I do supports as well. And what is it? Chi2 box? Is that what it is? What is it? Yeah, Chi2 box. So yeah. Guargon question: how much time you think it's a standard for artists become good enough to work with XM, for example, doing collectibles? I mean, that's hard to say. I would say if you have a full-time job and you can probably only sculpt on nights and maybe weekends, and you have a family, it might take you years. If it's just you in your room and your dedication and your unwavering consistency to sculpt every day for like 8 hours and have the right mentors and everything go perfect for you, I would say 2.5, maybe 3 years, somewhere around there. and then there's some that are just naturally inclined to sculpting and probably can get it done in like a year, but there's still going to be lots and lots of problems. You know, XM is, you know, lots of seasoned veterans have gone through there. So, and their work has, you know, been pretty comparable since their initial launch. So yeah, you're gonna have to know hard surface a lot because pretty much all their characters are clad in some type of armor. So your hard surface skills, your detailing skills, your engineering skills, your posing skills, your sculpting skills, your expression, facial anatomy skills, your facial expression skills, your 3D printing knowledge and engineering skills. You know, those are all a whole lot to bring up to a super professional level in a short amount of time, right? So you want to be careful. Just in case, so for someone new to this whole thing, which one would you recommend? Are you talking about XMD or the on-demand course, or you're talking about XMD or ArtStation? ArtStation is going to be like, it's going to be the best bet for you because it's well, it's cheaper. First of all the material is going to be new. So yeah, I would start here. Yeah, get this, because this is always going to go up in value. I'm always going to be adding projects or tutorials to this. So yeah, I would invest in this. Okay. What is a professional speed for sculpting one character? Daniel Medeiros, amazing piece. Thank you very much. Solo player, what is the professional speed for sculpting one character? I don't know. That depends on how much money they have. Honestly, like if they want it quickly and they have enough money to pay for that rush, then yeah, I'll speed sculpt my way throughout the entire thing, you know, and just bang it out as quickly as possible, but they're gonna have to pay for that. So, you know, one character, and say they need it in 2 weeks with a base and all the details and expression and pose and all that. If I'm working 8 to 10 hours a day every single day for 2 weeks, I can probably bang that out. But there's faster people and there's slower people, so, you know, it's up to you. But I wouldn't really compare yourself too much in that area. As long as you are sculpting it and making a profit, then that's a good start, right? So years and years and years and years go by, you'll become faster and faster and faster, and your style will be more consistent, and your knowledge will be much more thorough, and you'll be sculpting faster. So Rock, hey Spicer, as an aspiring game character artist, is it required for me to know how to rig and animate as well? No. It is good for you to have that experience, so you know what type of topology you need to give and what would be the best way to deliver your assets so that the rigger and the animator have a really good product, right? Generally, what you'll do is, I mean, there's a bunch of different scenarios. Every studio is different. Some of them you'll be sculpting, retopologizing, and then doing all the fixes after, because you're going to send it to the animator. They're going to bend all the, they're going to do a quick rig. They're going to bend all the joints, and if there's any collapsing, then you're going to have to retopologize it, rebake all your maps, re-UV it, do all this stuff, right? So sometimes they'll outsource that to someone else, and sometimes they won't, you know? So just depends on where you are and where you're working. But having knowledge of rigging and animating is going to make your models much more appetizing to the pipeline. Okay. Darmer Aldavaran, any tip to do a good pose? What's the best way? Always explain it that imagine that they're in motion and that you freeze framed it, right? So we don't want to, I'm posed, right? We want to be like, I'm about to punch you and then we stopped it, right? And something like that. You want to think of that we can anticipate the next moment. We can anticipate the next frame is what we're looking for, right? So, and with that, you know, doing athletics yourself, putting yourself in the same situation and the pose and acting it out will give you a whole lot of information, okay? Just in case, thanks, Spicer. My pleasure. John Quest, Spicer, can you give me the link to those ZBHO Dojo shirts again? They were super comfy and I needed another set. Yeah, sure. I appreciate y'all keeping the dojo doors open. You can pick yourself up dojo shirt right here. And again, you can go to the ArtStation store and level yourself up. Okay. Yeah, they're all 5 stars. You know, $12 to cut off possibly a year of practicing sculpting arms. Good price for me. Sounds like a damn good price. So definitely check it out. Thanks, bruv. I thought I was so freaking slow. My pleasure. Black Box EQ, my pleasure. My pleasure. Alrighty, everybody. I appreciate you all. Thanks to all the individuals that allowed me to critique their work. Let me see. Let me bring this down. All right, and I appreciate you all being here. Thank you very much for allowing me to critique your work. And if you subscribe to my YouTube channel, I'm going to put each critique up separately so y'all can watch that. But yeah, if there's no more questions, if there's nothing else I can help y'all out with, I am going to call it. But before we do, before you leave, do not leave. You better not freaking leave. Let us enter the Sculpting diploma. Thank you very much, everyone who bought the spicy bundle over at ArtStation. Thank you for all the support. I really do appreciate it. I'm glad that y'all come here. Y'all learn something every time you come to the dojo at ZBrush Live. You're gonna learn something. You're gonna learn something. So do me a favor. Let's get this video up to 2,500 likes. Okay. 2,500 likes. So please share it. Please let people know that if they want to improve their anatomy, they can go to the dojo at ZBrush Live. Okay? We've got over 116 quadrillion people watching the show right now. Multiple galaxies, multiple universes. Yet we are all one.